See how we're looking this morning here, guys. Good morning, good morning. Thank you guys for coming on board this morning. All right. Good morning, good morning. Camera's blanking out. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Good morning, Facebook, Instagram family. Thank you guys for coming on, joining me this morning. Good morning. Let me plug up my phone here. We're gonna try and make it through, man, without many glitches, man. We're gonna try. You know, it's like Murphy's Law here, man. What can happen will. You know what I mean? But again, good morning, Tony. I'm the fourth Tony. Thank you guys for coming on board, man. It's a cloudy and rainy and dreary looking day, but you know, this type of weather doesn't depress me, man. It actually gives me motivation. You know, I've had to survive through many days like this. You know what I mean? So, so just wanted to come on. Let me see if we got everything right here. Yeah. So, thank you for joining me for another episode, guys, of Back to the World, my brother and my sister's keeper, Billionaires Roundtable Conference, and Sonetquity Book Club. I know that's 3 different platforms, but you know, lately I haven't had the time, so we're sort of meshing them, or just kind of squeezing them in together, if you get what I'm saying. Most of the content and everything is the same, man. I'm gonna just tell you, one of our platforms, God, my hair is tight. You know, so just to give you an idea what the platforms are. But any music that you may hear in the background, we don't own the rights to. All right. So if you have any comments, questions, or what have you, just hit us in the box down below. And before I even get started, we're gonna do some PSAs, man. I just put in our comment section. I put the link for our Batana oil. Okay, this is the Batana beard, and this is the Batana for skin, hair, feet, stretch marks, BBLs, and what have you. Okay, this is the 2-ounce jar, $19.99, and this is our beard oil for $24.99. All right? Go to our website at www.glowsuds.com. All right? This is what it looks like, ladies and gentlemen. I just had someone go out and purchase some on Temu, man, and I'm telling you, it looked like caca. All right? And I don't know why, but you know, sometimes we understand why people do what they do. When I sold them some prior to that, they wanted to see if, and this was their way of verifying, and I can't knock them for that. But if you were satisfied with whatever it was you got, continue to get it. But this is the same person that I had given some years ago when I first had it, and they said it never got soft, so they threw it away. So years later, when I figured out that this is something that's really, really good, I sold them some more, and they commented on how well it works. Okay, but after you commenting on how well it works, you've gone out and you purchased 2 jars from Temu, and you said you were doing it because you was trying to test the consistency or the texture. I don't know. But if that satisfied you, then whatever floats your boat. Okay? So anyway, I just listed our link. Next, I wanna tell you to go to our bookstore, our online bookstore, and purchase all of your literary needs, from reading to puzzles to cards to board games and what have you. All right? And that is www.bookshop.org/shop/Sonetquity. We have books in audio as well if you're too busy to read. We have ebooks, and you can order whatever your subjects are from us in ebooks. And a portion of all of our sales goes to mom and pop businesses or brick and mortar businesses, which a lot of people are. It's not that they don't like going into bookstores. It's just that the way things are today, they just don't have the time. You have to work all day. Even if you work from home, if you work from home and you're at home, then all of your transactions, all of your business, mostly, is being taken care of online. So what would make that any different? But if you are a person such as myself, see, I love bookstores. I love the library. I love the smell of the books. I love seeing the books on the shelves. I love when everyone's quiet, you can hear the pages turning. I really appreciate that. And I was a kid and I spent a lot of my time in the library. And I've always read, man. I mean, and I still do. And I read printed books. I don't necessarily read books that's over social media, although I have a Kindle account and all that other stuff, man. But I buy printed books, all right. But this is a book that I've read twice, man. This is Power versus Force by David Hawkins. This is a wonderful book. And this is just one that's in our catalog. We sell every book that Amazon sells, ladies and gentlemen. There are many other things that are happening with our book club, but at the same time, too, I am seeking someone that can truly operate as an administrator for our book club. And man, I'm willing to offer you a percentage of the business. All right. Anyone that can host and administer for a web page, or not a web page, but web page and a podcast. We'd love to have you on board. I'd love to sit down and talk with you because, see, I know exactly what it is that we need. I know exactly the market that we are after. Um, and I have a general idea of how I would like for this project to operate. The thing is that I don't have the acumen to do it. And I'm not ashamed to say that. Because most people that have a great vision, sometimes they just can't execute it. But they look for those who are and those who can. Ford Motors. Ford couldn't build a car, but he understood how cars were built. And he got the proper people to prepare and to plan. He did that on purpose. So that's where we are with Sonetquity Book Club. I know where I want this project to go. I know what I want this project to do. I've given it legs. Now I just need someone that can take it and run. Okay? So that's what we're in the process of doing. But until we find that person, every day I'm just coming out, man, and I'm giving you a piece of me, letting you know what it is that we have to offer. And one of the things, another thing that we offer with our bookstore is publishing. The more members that we get, the better we are in position to offer publishing at a discounted price. Now, see, we want to take publishing two ways. There are those that will pay to self-publish and get their books published, right? Excuse me. Yeah, there are those that will pay to get their book published. Well, we want to grant them that opportunity, and we want to give them the best deal possible. And we want to give them the best service after their book is published, because then we in turn will promote their book and what have you, market their book. All right, and then there are those that we will offer the same opportunity in which publishing companies used to offer back in the day, and they're still doing it. We just don't hear too much about it because the market is saturated now with self-published authors. But you got to keep in mind, you have Ingram. Ingram is the largest book distributor in the world. Then you have Random House, the whole bit, and that's the largest publishing company in the world. Random House is not just sitting back doing nothing, right? Random House is also offering deals, advances, and what have you to publish books. So we want to be able to do that too. Then we want to be able to offer those very special authors. We want to offer them an opportunity for their book to be turned into a script, a movie script, or a play. All right? So these are the type of things that we want to offer with Sonetquity. And then, for everybody that's a member, and they're a member of a book, they're a member of their own private book club, but then they're a member of our national book club. And when we do our podcast and our hostings or what have you, we'll have a drawing. And on that drawing, with that particular drawing, let's say there's a book club in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and it has like 7 members, right? But we've selected that book club from a drawing of many. And the reason we selected that book club was because that book club was very ingratiating. It was very embracing. They were very creative. Their members got along very, very well. Some of the things that they did to make it comfortable, because they would still, although they would meet via Zoom, but I think 1 week out of the month, or one week out of the month, they would actually physically get together, and they would have finger foods, they would have wine, coffee, tea, and things of that nature. So now, many of the other book clubs that are over social media, they may not be doing that. And they may only be doing just Zoom. Well, now things are getting a bit lackluster, over live video, and everybody's getting somewhat complacent, tired, bored, if you will. So now, that particular book club can learn a lot from that small book club that's in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So what we have an idea of doing is letting the Chattanooga, Tennessee book club host the National Book Club and just tell their story, tell what their book of the month is, tell them, and they will host. They will actually host that segment, that podcast, as though, and it is true, because whatever audience that you have that's viewing you at that time, it is your audience. It is your audience to make or break. It is your audience to satisfy, dissatisfy. So now you have a book club of 7 members that's hosting a podcast. Hopefully that has 7,000, 10,000, or what have you. So these are the types of things that we want to do. Because see, when we talk about DEI, the I stands for inclusive or inclusionary or inclusion, however you want to say it, all three. We want to be inclusive. We want to be inclusive because see, inclusivity is survival. Inclusivity is survival, ladies and gentlemen. More so than anything. So that's what we want to offer. And before I go, or before I conclude, go out and purchase my book, Business Always Personal, by Darnell Tony Ford. And what I talk about in this book is the correlation between an illegal business and a legal business. And that there's not much difference other than the what word am I looking for here? Sometimes it's things get lost in translation. So a lot of it is dialogue and what have you, right? And I was just only making that connection, showing that because, the universe does business 2 ways, the right way and the wrong way. Well, it only allows one way, and that's the right way. You do the wrong way on your own. Because if you follow the tenets of the universe, 9 times out of 10 you'll get it right. So I don't care if you're doing what's deemed a legal business or illegal business, And see, you got to keep in mind what determines what's a legal business or illegal business, right? And that's man, and that is done by a simple stroke of the pen, right? Because marijuana was illegal. Marijuana was illegal. Now all of a sudden marijuana is legal. So you see, man did that. So you had a lot of people that served a lot of time that made a lot of money selling marijuana illegal, right? That's before they had the tariffs and the taxes and all that stuff on it. So anyway, my book basically talked about the transitioning and the translation and things. A lot of things get lost in translation, but you had guys that ran very, very, very successful businesses, and illegal business, and as soon as they tried to do what they deemed a legal business, they thought that many other things needed to be done, needed to be said, and what have you, and they didn't carry that business out with the same vigor, with the same drive, and most guys fail. So I just wrote the book to let you know that there is no difference. There is no difference when we talking business. A letter of credit or a line of credit, right? That's a front. Leverage, that's collateralized. Things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? When you got people running up and down the highway distributing your deal, it's distribution and it's logistics, and then it's transportation. You have a stash house, that's your warehouse, that's your safe house. You know what I mean? So, you have your henchmen, that's your security. So, there are many things that, dialogue and translations, and what happens is sometimes we feel that if we're not speaking that particular language, then we're not doing the business. You got how many people that's out there that was selling drugs the whole bit, man? They were very, very successful, and they never used any of that vernacular. But at the same time, they were very, very successful. I think we get so caught up, and that's what I want to talk about, right? I think we get so caught up on what we deem the right way, the perfect way to do business or life, period. And I think that becomes our mistake as a people, because the people that we ran away from, and see, you know what? Everything is inherited, everything is handed down, man. And before I go any further, I just want to say this. Sometimes I think that education is overrated. Education makes you make you stay oppressed with logic, with you understanding everything. All right? But you know what? Survival trumps education. If you don't believe me, man, look how many people that never gone to college, never went to school or anything, and they started most of these great businesses. Or they were college or high school dropouts, right? And then there are those that weren't successful at that. You had a mother and a father that were probably factory workers, and they sent their kids through school. When I was coming up, you had guys now that Hispanics have taken over the market, but when I was coming up, I had friends whose fathers they cut grass. We didn't look at it as a business. They cut grass. They didn't have a truck with the name on it and the whole nine. They would use their truck. Oh my gosh, my hair is just tight. They would use their truck, and they'll have their lawnmower in the back. They have all of their sickle and swing blade, the whole bit. But they made enough money to pay their rent, their mortgage, send their kids to school, and put food on the table. Right? Excuse me. So no disrespect to anyone that has a degree in higher learning, man. I'd be the first to commend you. All right? But I've seen the difference, and I've lived in both worlds, man. And see, sometimes, and think of situations, man, where you may have had a friend, or you yourself may have had an opportunity to go to college, on a scholarship even, sports or academic. But your family was hungry, and your family needed to eat, right? So you made that decision to maybe quit college, or either don't pursue it, and then just go straight to work. So that's what happens. That's what happens. And that DEI thing, man, this is the third day that I'm talking about it. Excuse me a sec. This is the third day I'm talking about it, but I'll talk about it just a little today. See, here's why I say that sometimes, and most often, survival trumps education. See, because a person that's educated, they still have to survive. And the onus is on the person that's uneducated or not as educated to survive as well. He's not exempt. You know what I mean? Good morning, niece. How you doing? All right. So see, he's not exempt. He has to survive as well. But the problem that we make, and we exhibit classism, and we look down on those who we feel aren't as educated as we are. But 9 times out of 10, the company that you're working for, it was started by a person that may have only had an eighth grade education. You follow me? And oh, let me see what my niece says. Okay. Right, I'm glad you're on, baby. Thank you. So what I'm saying is, this is what happens, and this is why DEI, which is diversity, equality, inclusion. This is why this is so trying. This is why it's in the news so much, because all this is, as I've said before, this is civil rights. This is civil rights all over again. This is back to Jim Crow. It's just done with finesse. It's done with finesse, and we've been tricked out of our position. And to be perfectly honest with you, we've been tricked out of our position by a lot of educated blacks. And that's why I say that education to a degree and intelligence is trumped by survival. You don't have to tell a man to eat when he's hungry and he's starving. He's going to do it anyway. But a person that's intellectual or whatever, they're going to try to explain it. They're going to try to give reasons. They're going to try to justify. And now we've been pushed in the corner, as I said yesterday, and we're going to have to come through this the same way that we came through civil rights. But what's frightening, though, a lot of the youngsters have been brainwashed and tricked into thinking like the oppressor. I don't want to offend anybody, but at the same time too, I don't want to leave no stone unturned. So with that, I don't make no compromises. When the civil rights laws were passed, again, those laws were only passed to say that we could live amongst white people if we wanted to. We could sit at that food counter in a diner. We could sit at the front of the bus if we chose to. It didn't say that we must, or we got to, or we have to. It gave us that option. And the mistake we make is that we want to do everything that our oppressors, we want to do everything that the whites do. Hey, honestly, man, I'm being honest with you. I don't have nothing against white folk. I like who like me. You know what I'm saying? And I can almost guarantee you more black people know me than whites. So I probably dislike more blacks than I dislike whites in those regards. But I'm not satisfied with the way things are being done now and what they're trying to do to us as a people. So we are being forced to survive. And when we do, because that's all most of us are doing, we think that we can do everything that the white race does. We think that everything is going to apply to us equally as it applied to them. And nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing. And that's the mistake that we make, because I was talking to a gentleman in the cigar lounge the other day, and he was basically saying that more white women are going to suffer from this DEI distraction. And I'm saying, how does that benefit you? Do you feel good just knowing that somebody else is going to suffer too? The whole idea of the matter is for you not to suffer. Everything we've ever done has been from an alternative perspective. And when we give up on that alternative perspective, that's when we dig our own grave. Everything that we have to do that's done in society, everything that the white man does or whatever the situation is, we have to do something, we have to do the same thing but differently in order to try and achieve the same results. We can't do it exactly like him. When you go into court, you can't walk into court, you can't think that justice is going to be balanced and it's going to be in your favor. It's not. It's not. So whenever you go to a job and you're handling a job, the whole nine, okay, your education is going to speak for itself. But when it comes to execution on that particular job, you have to be twice as smart as that person, as that white person that you're competing against. See, because your education aren't going to top theirs. They can go to a junior college, man, and you can go to Ivy League college. They're going to give them more deference than they're going to give to you. And they'll hire someone that went to to an online college. They'll hire someone that went to an online college that's white. And here you graduated from Yale. You graduated summa cum laude. But now, when they hire that white person over you, when your credentials were better, but you know what they're going to say? His skill sets were great. But all the while they're saying he came from a good family. You see? So we have to continue and we have to understand the difference. And that's why I was talking about yesterday that a barbershop, see, we have to support one another. We're being forced to. And there's nothing wrong with that. But don't get caught up and now you're looking at, I spoke to another guy in the cigar lounge, man. He had a headache. He couldn't even express himself. He was so frustrated. He said, man, I just don't, dude, why are you so frustrated? Why are you so upset? This has been going on. Now they're just letting you know. They're just labeling it. The courts are going to back it again the way they did back in the 1950s and 60s. Don't let it get you up. Look, still go to work as long as you have a job. Still feed your family. Still get your gas. Still go on your vacation. But the thing is, unification is the key. Unification is the key. And if we don't unify, man, you know, we're going to be crucified. If we don't unify, we will be crucified. Simple as that. Simple as that. We make the way and we do the most with the least. And that shouldn't change. That shouldn't change. I gave this example, right? See, when everybody work together, you get great results. Let me show you something. I'm not going to do it on the board because it's going to take too long, right? And one of my students, one of my little young homies, man, little brother Jeezy, John Mosley, he reminded me of this. And Pop and I, we've done it at night. And shout out to brother Pop, man. My brother's working and everything. You know, he's missing in action here, but he's in our hearts, man. He's still here. He's just been, again, consumed with work and family and everything. So, just want to send our shout outs and our love to him. The example goes like this. When everyone works together, I can show you how one $100 bill can cancel $1,200 worth of debt. right, for 12 different businesses. One $100 bill. And how that scenario goes, it goes like this. Let me clear my mind so I can tell the story here. And Brother Jeezy, let me know if I'm telling the story correctly, all right? Let me see if I hope I'm telling the story correctly. Who we got here? Okay. So this is how the story goes. There was a gentleman that wanted to rent a hall at this hotel for a banquet, right? So in order for him to see what this hotel's banquet rooms look like, he had to leave a $100 deposit with the manager, okay, with the clerk. So he left the $100 with the clerk, and he went to view the room, with the understanding that he'll get his $100 back.
Hello,
Excuse me, just a second. Just a second, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Don.
Tony, what's up, brother?
Oh, nothing much, man. I was just in the middle about to do a podcast. What you got?
You have 3 available for sale?
Oh yeah. I think I might have 1 2-ounce, but all the others are the 4-ounce.
4 ounce, 3 4 ounce.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, great. So, with shipping to Atlanta, how much you think it'll be?
I've never shipped 3 at one time. To ship 1, it's like $8. So I think it might be somewhere around 15 or so.
Okay. All right. Definitely. Okay. I'll get name and info to you. I'll text it to you.
Okay, send me the address, and
Okay.
I'll get out early today and get it, or first thing in the morning if it's after 2 o'clock.
Okay, perfect.
All right?
Well, good.
Okay, I'll be listening for you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We're working, we're multitasking here. So, Danisha, that was, let me get the video back on here. That was a Batana sale. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to get our video back on, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. So as I said, what happens is the clerk, now he takes the $100, and the person that was looking to rent the hall at the hotel, he went on to review the space. The hotel clerk owed the butcher $100. So he took that $100, hurry up and ran out, because he was certain that this guy is going to love this space. So he ran out, gave the butcher the $100. The butcher owed the dry goods store. So he took the dry goods store the $100, cashed out his debt. The dry goods store he owed a mechanic. So he ran and took his money to the mechanic, paid the mechanic. The mechanic owed a photographer $100. So he ran out, gave the photographer $100. The photographer owed the man at the feed store. The man at the feed store got his $100. And then the man at the feed store owed the hotel $100. So he came back and gave the clerk the $100. The gentleman came out from reviewing the rooms, and he said, "Hey, you know what?" He said, "I think I'm going to pass because your space is a little too small. I'm going to need something larger." And you said that was the largest you had? He said, "Yes." He said, well, I'm going to pass on it. He said, can I get my, can I get my $100? The clerk gave him back the $100. Right? That was the end of it. All those other debts were canceled by that one $100 bill. That exact $100 bill. I gave it to you kind of jagged, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. And this is what happens when people work together. You see, now let's say that the butcher would have decided not to pay his $100 and he had a habit. Let's say he had a drinking habit, a gambling habit, a drug habit, a womanizer habit, whatever the situation may be. So see, now that $100 would have only circulated within that community one time. It would have gone from the hotel to the butcher, and everyone else would have suffered. Everyone else would have been wanting that $100 bill or that $100. You see what I'm saying? So when everyone cooperates, everyone benefits. And this is what has to happen in a community. I know many of you don't like to hear this, man, and and a lot of you criticize it and you talk about network marketing. And you call it a Ponzi, you call it a pyramid, the whole bit. Man, but network marketing is the way of the world. Network marketing is the way of the world. And if you don't think multi-level marketing is network marketing. It's just at different levels. If you think that that's illegal, any business that you're not on the same level with the person that owns the company. You're not on the same level with the people that's in management. You're not on the same level with the people that's in administration, HR. All of these people are being paid on different levels. Their pay scales are They're different. Everything in the world operates from a pyramid structure. Every business, period. Every business, you're not doing it by yourself. You're not the creator. You're not the creator, the seller, and the buyer all at the same time. How could you be? And when people feel like they've done things all on their own, they've done it by themselves, how? Why do you market? Why do you advertise? You have to rely on your public. Let's take the situation with Snoop Dogg, for instance. Some people will probably say, well, man, he done made enough money, man. What is he tripping about? I'll show you what he's tripping about. Oftentimes, we don't think things through. And we do things from a knee-jerk reaction. Snoop has made a lot of money of late. He's on everything on TV. I almost get tired of seeing him the way I used to get tired of seeing Steve Harvey. But get your money, black man. Get your money. Snoop made $17 million during the summer for the Olympics. The more you make, the more you want. I get it. So he had a following of 1 million and something people following him. So he was offered a bag to perform for Donald Trump. There's nothing wrong with that. That's your prerogative. All right? That's your decision. You made that choice. Now, you can't question and scrutinize the consequences. Whatever the results are, that's not on you. But see, you put that train in motion. So if people feel a certain way about you after that, you only have yourself to blame. You know what I mean? You only have yourself to blame. And however that rock lands, then you got to get from under it. But Snoop didn't build himself. Because if he built himself, he wouldn't give a shit about what what his followers said. He wouldn't care about that at all. But he know that he's only where he is because of his fans. It's because of the people that follow him. And man, those who love you today can hate you tomorrow, and your entire career will be over. You got so many famous people, man, that died broke, that were very, very wealthy. And they may have had something that happened in the media, and it wasn't social media like today, but something may have gotten around years ago, man, it just ruined their career. Now your career is ruined instantaneously because whatever happened last night, somebody put it on social media 15 minutes later or filmed it live. So we have to understand these things, and we have to stop taking things for granted. So now don't think that because your business is super, super successful that you did it all by yourself. Now, you needed your audience. You needed your audience. But let me tell you, our minds have been poisoned when it comes to network marketing and multi-level marketing. See, when we say multi-level marketing, man, people, man, oh, that sound like a pyramid. I bet you don't go directly to the Ford manufacturing. No, you don't go to the Ford home office in Dearborn, Michigan. I bet you don't go there to buy a car. I bet you don't. I bet you're not going to go to none of their regional management offices to buy a car either. I bet you don't. I bet you're not going to go to one of their factories in those different regions to buy a car either. I bet you don't. You're going to go to that fourth level, which is the automobile dealership where they ship them to and purchase your car. I bet you do. And now you're the last man on that totem pole. So now that car is coming to you. That car is going 5 levels. It come through 5 levels. Everything functions and operated that way. You can't see that the government has poisoned your mind to the main thing is that's going to be the principle to our survival, and that's unification. Don't you know that since the beginning of time, people have utilized network marketing? They have utilized multi-level marketing within their group and organization to sustain an empire. The Egyptian Empire, the Persian Empire, the Ming Dynasty, the Roman Empire, the Moors. All of these empires, they carried out functions to sustain one another, for everybody to survive. And that's why I say survival trumps intellect and education, because the universe only works one way. You eat or you starve. It's just that simple. That's the way the universe works. You eat or you starve. So now they're telling you, whenever you sell a product or whenever you do network marketing, any semblance of it, you're violating the law. So now you're afraid you're going to be locked up. But see, we created that as a people. You don't understand it, but we created those methods of survival. This comes straight from Egypt. It comes straight from Babylon. Right? But now, the ones who started it are the ones who do it the least. There's no other business in the world that creates more millionaires than network marketing. You have 160 million members or associates or affiliates with network marketing around the world. You have 16 million here in the United States. 16 million. But you have impoverished ghettos and communities, black communities, all throughout this United States. But they'll lock you up for doing what's called a susu or blessing circles, the whole bit. You know why? Because they are illegal. They're only illegal because the government made them illegal because they can't tax it. That's the same government that used to lock you up for marijuana, but now they're taxing it. Don't you know whenever we got locked up, man, for heroin and cocaine and everything back in those days, and see, they threw it out there that we're destroying the neighborhood and the community, so we are a menace to society. But that's not why they locked us up. We have to atone for that, but they didn't lock us up for that. They locked us up for affecting commerce. They locked us up for earning money and not paying taxes. They locked us up for earning money and not paying taxes. Anything that you do and you don't give the government theirs, that's affecting commerce. Right? You can buy, look, let's name a brand of cigarettes that everybody, let's say Salem, for instance. And what's that other brand that everybody, Newports or what have you? I don't know the brands of cigarettes no more, man. I grew up as a kid. My mom and dad smoked Winston's. Excuse me. But however, here's the point. You can buy a carton of cigarettes or even just one pack. One pack. You can buy one pack of cigarettes in North Carolina. And you can take that same pack of cigarettes up to New York or to Detroit. And they're unopened. And you sell those cigarettes. Your ass is going to get arrested, man, because you affected commerce. You know why you affected commerce? Because that the cigarette pack that you had, it had a tax stamp on it from Carolina. Cigarettes are cheaper in Carolina and Virginia than they are in New York and Detroit. And you took that pack of cigarettes up to New York and you earned a profit. And you did not pay the taxes on that profit that you received. So now that's a federal offense. So, you see, things that's so simple that don't mean nothing, you think really, but when you affect commerce, that's because the government can't get theirs. Now let me show you something, if you will. There's a thing called COINTELPRO. COINTELPRO is a situation to whereas the government was spying on certain individuals, our black leaders, Marcus Garvey, Huey Newton, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and we can go on and on. All of our black leaders at that time, and a lot of the singers, Bob Dylan, and all these people. The FBI was looking at these people, right? The mamas and the papas, okay? Sly and the Family Stone. Yeah, the feds were looking at them. But now, here's what happened in San Francisco at that time. The government made heroin available to the dealers. And they caused a rift between the Black Panthers and the guys on the street. And they saturated the streets of San Francisco and Oakland with the heroin. And that's when they launched their investigation of COINTELPRO. But the plan was for everybody black to get hooked on the heroin and don't care about life and pretty much die, if you will. They didn't give a shit. But see, one thing about it, man, the Most High, man, Allah has a sense of humor, man. And whites start coming to the hood in San Francisco and Oakland, and they came and purchased heroin, and then they started ODing. They started ODing, man, like that. And let me show you something. While I was incarcerated, I probably knew about fentanyl and everything more quicker, faster than people that were on the streets. Why? Because I watched the news every day, for number one. And I was constantly hearing about this new drug called fentanyl. Fentanyl was for cancer patients. People with terminally ill cancer, man, for, it was affecting their bones. Now, next, I was locked up with a bunch of people that were coming to prison for selling drugs with fentanyl and for selling legal pharmaceuticals. I was locked up with a doctor, got 7 life sentences. I was locked up with another doctor that was an actual doctor, and one of his patients committed suicide, and they charged him with that murder. So I was like, what is this drug? So then all of a sudden, mainly in Ohio, Kentucky, and another place over in that eastern region, northern and West Virginia, a lot of whites were dying from fentanyl overdose, heroin and everything. And it was all on the news, man. All in Pennsylvania, all in that valley over there. And almost everybody, man, they had a man and woman that had shot up in the car, and they both were in the car dead, man. You know what I mean? And I just said, man, what is this epidemic? But the crazy thing is, black folk had been dying from overdose, man, long, long before that, and they never cared about it. See, when a black person died, and had they went out and they investigated it properly, and they would have found out that that black person died from an overdose of fentanyl or oxys. And see, oxys were created, man, super, super powerful in these pharmaceutical laboratories. And they do just like they do just like the street drug dealer. And this is why I'm telling you, there's no difference between illegal and legal business other than the jargon or whatever certificates that's issued, what they call law, right? Whether you're paying taxes or you're not. If you're not paying taxes, it's illegal. If you're paying taxes, it's legal. It's no different than shooting dice at a casino or shooting dice in a back alley in the hood. The one in the hood is illegal. So these people got off. They got sued and the whole bit. They paid millions and millions of dollars. And it's just like anything else. If they said if I can sell more of this before they can catch on and so many people die, and then when they catch me, all right, I've made $1 trillion. And then they're gonna come in and they're gonna sue me for 300 billion or 30 billion. You're like, okay, I'll deal with that. I love those numbers every day. I'll get sued. I would have made 1 trillion. I paid 30 billion, and I'm good. That's the math. That's the math, man. So the government has just turned us away from what is the only vehicle that can sustain all of us, rich, middle class, and poor alike, because we're all going to need each other. We all are going to need each other, because you need those funds circulating. You need to keep that $100 bill circulating. And I know when we talk about, when you hear people say, man, our money don't circulate in our community but X amount of times, whereas the Asians, the whatchamacallums and the whatchamacallums, their money circulate in their communities, man, 15 times, 20 times. Why? Because they're still operating from a network marketing and a multi-level marketing structure. When they come from their country, man, and they come into this country and into their community, their people come together and galvanize, man, and they circulate. And they make sure that that family now is included, which is going to make the pie even larger. In the Asian, the Russian, African, Muslim, Jewish, all of them function the same, and all of them do the same thing for a whole month, man. It's a ritual. They're going to step outside the box and have parties. Some of them might have a black girlfriend or black boyfriend or whatever the situation is. But they're going to do their biddings within their communities, the Hispanics as well. And they all are operating from a principle that we created. You know? But now they got you believing, man, if you collected a bunch of money from your neighbors to feed the new people that come on the streets, the whole bit, they got you thinking that that's illegal. That's why none of those other races are going to give a shit about this DEI, man. It's not going to affect them. And the powers that be understand this. This is a way to keep you from prospering. This is a way to put a chokehold on you. I asked a friend the other day. See, you can't say that. You can't discriminate and say that you don't like someone, or you're doing this because of that person's ethnicity, or because of their sexual, because of their gender, or their sexual orientation. You can't say that. So they destroy you politically and make it politically correct. And I asked the gentleman this, you can't say I own a nightclub, but I don't want no tall people. I don't want nobody 7 feet in my club. Or I don't want nobody 6'5" in my club. I don't want tall people in that. And I might just dislike tall people because I'm really short. So I can't post a sign like that. And I know they tell you got the right to refuse service. But if a person come back and say they wasn't doing anything wrong, or they were wearing the right clothes, then you might get in trouble. Right? So you don't really want to take that chance, but you can do that. If you own the business, you'll let them know, hey, look, I have the right to refuse you. But here's where it gets tricky. So when you got tall people want to come to your club and they're taking up all your space, the whole 9 yards, you know what you do? You build a roof that's 6 feet tall. You build a ceiling, rather, that's 6 feet. Nobody 7 feet gonna want to come in your club, man. They gotta damn near walk on their knees or put a crook in their neck. So that is alternative. These are the methods in the way that we have to do and get around shit. You see how they tricked us, man, and they put us back into Jim Crow, and they put us back into civil rights. And they've done it they use, matter of fact, it's mental jujitsu. The shit that you created, that you thought was created to give us the power, they've used that same shit against us, man, in terms to make us weak. You didn't need civil rights to begin with, sisters and brothers. Every last one of these races, man, operate from the network marketing principle, man, the whole bit. And now they got you thinking that it's illegal. And they're telling you that in order for a network marketing or a multi-level marketing business to be legit, you got to have a profit. I mean, you got to have a product. You got to have a product. You just can't circulate money and give people money for free. But what happened, black folks so stupid, and no disrespect, you got those that have made tons and tons of money in this industry. And when they were doing the blessing circles, they ran off with a lot of people money, or they were too stingy to put back in. Don't you know you're killing your blessings by not keeping the circle going? You got to pay. That's what paying tithe, zakat, and zadala, all of that is a form of network marketing. Social Security is the same thing. You can call it a Ponzi scheme or whatever the situation may be. The stock market is too. The insurance company is the biggest fraud. Because you don't have layers there. They're just straight rip-off artists, man. But it's a necessary evil. You got to pay them in hopes of not getting in an accident. And then you go a whole year and you haven't gotten in an accident. Now you got to pay them again the following year. Let's say you go 25, 30 years and never have a wreck. Insurance company's not going to give you any grace, man. They're going to say, hey, look, pay that premium and get it started all over again, man, and you're all right. But if you miss a month, next month, the whole bit, when you had that wreck, you weren't covered. It's just as simple as that. You see, so we have to wake up and smell the tea leaves, man. And stop being brainwashed. Like I told you, man, in a barber, you got a barber shop and a hair salon, been in the community for over 50 years. They didn't survive because they went out and got 500,000 customers the whole bit. They might have had just 50. That same 50 came every week. And then those 50, they had kids. Their kids had kids. And they inherited going to that same barbershop, to that same hair salon. And they kept it going. A barbershop in Cincinnati, man, is not making money off of nobody in Houston. And that's what they talk about when the money circulates. That's what it means, and that's the principle. And the example that I'd given you with the hotel and the butcher and so on and so forth, that's how circulation works. Because and in prison, that's the way it happened in our units. Because one unit was self-sustained. You had a store, you had a guy that sold food, you had a guy that stole food from the kitchen and came back and sell it. You had a guy that did laundry. You had a guy that cleaned the cells. You had a guy that painted. You had a guy that worked on radios. A guy that did tattoos. Man, you had a guy that shined shoes. Everybody was self-sufficient. And look, in your unit, everybody that washed clothes, man, everybody in there got to wash clothes. And if they can afford it, they're going to take it to the guy that washed clothes. Now, the guy that washes clothes, man, he got to get his hair cut. So he going to go to the guy that's the barber. Shit, the barber got to eat, so he going to come to the man that's cooking the food. All right? You got another guy that does that repairs the merchandise. Shit. He likes to cook for himself, but he got to buy food from the guy out the kitchen. You got a guy that irons the clothes and everything. Everybody goes on visit, man, want to be starched down and have the shoes polished the whole nine. So see, we were our own community within an institution. We didn't have to go to any, and then you had guys that made pizza. Now, if something was specialized, guys made brownies. They made banana puddings. They made apple pies. They made ice cream deals and stuff like that, cakes. Anybody that's making those type of pastries and everything, right? Guys made hooch. Guys made white lightning. So that was our own community, and everybody in that unit, man, they earned. And then what brought back to that community? You had those that worked in the factory that was bringing more money in to help that circulate. Because most of those guys that worked in the factory, they were gone all day. So when they come in, they got to pay to have all that other stuff done. So that's how you supplement. And that's how you infuse more commerce into a community. So don't run and hide from network marketing. Try to get a better understanding about it. Try to understand its origins and try not to look at what the government has placed on it. And what happens is, see, every righteous man say that he wants for his brother what he wants for himself. Right? Every righteous man makes this claim. When you do that and you follow the tenets of the universe when it comes to prosperity, you will provide your brother with what you want for yourself. You know? So that's just about my time, man. I can go on and on about this subject, man. But listen, as I said, if you want to learn more and want to know more about network marketing, the history of it, you want to know about the mechanics of it, you want to know about how to function it to where people will continue and everybody will prosper, where you don't have to go out and hunt every day. See, keep in mind, let me show you something. A barbershop. This is the best example that I can give you when it comes to circulation and everything, the whole bit. Right? And the drug industry as well. See, people go out and get more people because they're greedy. But at a certain number, you can come to a situation to whereas you don't have to recruit, sign up, sponsor anybody else. It works on automatic. Now that that barber has built up his clientele, he's not running around in the streets every day, man. And just recent, because of social media, barbers weren't able to advertise a lot like they are now. And now you got people advertising, got a barber in Chicago, he's advertising in Mississippi. You know, it's fruitless, but he's getting it done, he's getting it out there. Nobody's from Mississippi is coming all the way up there just to get a haircut, not every week anyway. Is when I come to visit my people in Mississippi, I'll probably come and see you. But other than that, man, I'm not coming there. You know what I'm saying? Or are you specializing in some type of dreads or whatever, or some new hair technique? And after a while, somebody in your state gonna do it. You know? So everyone sticks to the program. That's why barbershops and hair salons thrive. Because everybody's doing their parts. Everybody's doing it and keeping the circle turning. And that's what multi-level marketing and network marketing is all about. Right? And that's community economics. That's when the math be mathing. And this is the way you survive. When you're selling drugs, man, you can have 5 to 10 customers. And as soon as they're out, they're coming back to you. And those people those 5 customers that you have, each of those 5 customers got 5. And each of those 5 customers got 5. Those 25 rather, got 5. And after 25, that 125 got 5. And everybody's going to score when they score. And the person that's at the top, that's the plug. They're going to make their money. But you are the plug in your circle. And that's the way the situation goes. And that's the way you keep the money circulated within your community. These are the keys to our survival. Everybody that's telling you that we need to unify and come together, they're not going to tell it to you like I'm telling you, which are telling you the truth. They're going to give you a bunch of shit saying that what you should do. And they're going to still be trying to teach you the white man's way that's not going to work for you as a black man. The biggest mistake you can make is thinking that you're equal, child. The moment you think that you're equal, Joe, you just lost. The moment that you think you're going to be treated the same way, you just lost. I was able to look like I was equal to the white man because of the cars that I drove, the places that I lived, the clothes that I wore. Not everybody black doing that. And not everybody black that's doing that, living that way, they're looking at it like a joke. You know, it's a situation where the tail now done wag the dog. Hit me up, learn more about network marketing, man, because this is where we're going to need to be. This is where we're going to need to go. As I said again, no other industry makes more money. No other industry makes more millionaires than network marketing. Even oil is sold. Oil is sold from a multi-level marketing perspective. Every business is, Joe. I feel myself wanting to go on and on, man, but I got to shut it down. But at any rate, man, thank you guys for coming on and sharing this day with me. Danisha, hey, I got a seal for Batana Oil while you were on the phone with me, sweet. All right, while you were on the video. But at any rate, man, thank you guys, love you guys, and thank you for joining me today. Go out and have a wonderful day. And bring your raincoat. Peace.